1 2 1 2 1 2.
Good morning and welcome to the coverage of the final day here of the netball action at the 2018 school games. The inaugural netball competition culminates in 3 final games here on court number 1. There are 3 games on court 2 as well. If you want to watch the live stream on court 2, simply click the button and watch over there. Court 1 is the only stream that has a commentary with it, and that's with myself, Alan March. Good morning to you all, wherever you are watching this one. Our concentration is on the 9th, 10th playoff game between Yorkshire in the pale blue and dark blue stripe down the sides, and Team Bath in the blue and gold. And that's a golden start for Bath, stopping Elias Swain from scoring. Monlaw and her defensive partner Emily Cridland getting off to the best of starts. Bull helping out at centre, and wing defender Alana Heath-Drury just getting a finger or two to that attempted pass a moment ago. Isla May come down this near side for Bull once more. May available, captain as well. Fabian Bull feeding it in, and her first opportunity for the goal attacker is taken, and Bath will have the early lead. Rosie Bartlett, who has partnered Colette more often than not in the shooting positions. As for Daisy Collett, she's been the most dangerous, but this is a turnover in possession in Yorkshire's favour this time, so that's one apiece in that department. Sienna Wilkinson, diminutive little figure of the centre, working hard. So too Sugarman, and a chance here for a strike from Swain. Doesn't disappoint. Swain again, finding Sugarman on the edge of the scoring circle. Looped into Swain, who's not the tallest of goal shooters here, but her accuracy is pretty deadly. And what she lacks in height, she makes up for in movement. She really does. Keep an eye on the goal shooter for Yorkshire throughout the course of this 9th, 10th playoff game. Remember, if you've been watching, 4 quarters of 8 minutes. 1 minute gaps between the end of the first and third. A 3-minute half time is all that's permitted as well. Collett with a third. What should I say here? Two all. Just under 5.5 minutes remaining of this first quarter. Neat from Swain. Just laying it off to the goal attacker, Libby Bruce. And Libby Bruce doing the job she's meant to do. Bull, that's loose. I think for a moment Megan Prill thought she'd got a finger to that, but officials not seeing it. Our umpires for this game, Jennifer Henwood and Alice Johnson. Swain with an opportunity to score. And that's 4-2. They're on as even through the course of these school games. They've played each other twice already, as Swain banks her 4th of this game already. It was Bath that won the most important game, beating Yorkshire in the group stages on Friday. Yesterday. Chance here for Rosie Bartlett. And Bartlett finds the target. 5-3, less than half of this first quarter remaining. Good play again, no immediate control from Sugarman, so she's allowed to continue. That one in and out, and Monlaw, as she has done almost religiously for Bath during this school games, cleans up. Burnett doesn't go Bath's way this time though. 5-3 it remains. They haven't managed to close the gap after that miss from Yorkshire last time. Wilkinson into Swain. Again you see Swain's belief, and again the accuracy of passing between the two of them. They've got a real good relationship, maybe Bruce and Swain. As I've said before, they're not the tallest of partnerships when it comes to players in the shooting circle, but they've proved to be very useful for their Yorkshire team. That's a third for Bartlett. Long rangy pass from Wilkinson this time, who's now made space on the right side. Getting into Swain, just plants that left foot. And bags her 5th score of the first quarter. Bull starts the process. Isla May, the captain, comes down this near side. It's fired in and held by Collett. Yeah. Blue hair scrunchie to match the uniform. And now she starts to fire. And that's her second point of this contest. The umpires blowing for an infringement in the centre third. Sugarman into Swain once more, and again you see doesn't have to be right underneath for Elias Swain to think about going for the target. Contact made from Yorkshire. Bath with Cridland to Bull. Space here for Collett. Bull again. Collett starts to move, so too does Bartlett, who gives Bath their 4. Close contest this on court 2. It's Scotland versus Northern Ireland in the 11th, 12th place game, and Bath have got this back. 1 minute 10 to go in the first quarter. Don't for a minute think that these girls don't want to win this game. The 9th, 10th playoff, they do. Collett scores. I can tell you from having spoken to both coaches, neither of these teams overjoyed at missing out on the groups to play in the top 8, which means they want to show that they are the best of the rest here. Lovely ball to Sugarman, who's waiting for a target to open itself up. Unlucky from Cridland. And with 25 seconds remaining, it will be an opportunity that Libby Bruce takes on the third time that she's scored. 15 seconds remaining. Bath would love to get possession. Swain drops it, and they do then. They've got to be quick. 10 seconds to try and get the ball to the other end. You can't throw it more than 1/3 at a time. That's deflected fairly, says the umpire. A few seconds remaining. The buzzer will go here before Swain can lay that up. I'm not convinced that one's going to count. 9-7 at the end of the first quarter to Yorkshire. So a close affair in the first quarter. 9-7 to Yorkshire. They won that opening contest 25-16 on Friday, and were disappointed with their performance, getting beaten by Bath yesterday 26-18. So it's even Stevens at the moment. Keeper for Yorkshire is Felicity Stokes. Good ball over the top. May trying to find the winger. Michelle Burnett feeds Collett, but that's good defending as well from the aforementioned Stokes. All over the top doesn't work this time from Yorkshire's centre, and Swain leaping over the transverse line. Stokes now has to face up against another Bath attack. Chance for Bartlett. Wobbles a bit, but once they're in, they're in. Swain giving the opportunity. Tries that little fake shot pass, doesn't work once. The next pass doesn't work either, and Bath get this back, 8-9. And again, the intensity showing those at home watching this on the stream that neither of these wants to finish 10th. Collett doesn't draw as level, and it goes Yorkshire's way. Trying to play out quickly, but thwarted in that. Megan Prill trying to make space. Sugarman does. Good quick play. Swain. Once again, the sharpshooter of this Yorkshire team. (10-8). Sugarman. Foot either side of that transverse line. Blue trainers of Sugarman then immediately finding more space. So too the centre. Sienna Wilkinson, a real driving force for this team, but that there is what they have in their locker. Elias Swain just dropping one from deep. Good play from Burnett. That's loose. Bath come again. Bull. Cridland. Laid off. Bartlett trying to help out as deep as she can legally go. Bull then clashes with Wilkinson, but the obstruction had come before then. Bartlett drops it down for Bull. Finds Collett now. Collett needs the accuracy of Swain and has it. 11-9. Half of this second quarter to go. 4 minutes. Pushed in to Bartlett. Collett again. It's number 5. They've got 5 each. The front two now for Bath. No sign of changes yet, and a turnover immediately. Isla May. Captain has to take it from the right position. She was obstructed illegally by Libby Bruce. And this one's gone out of play on the far side. This is Burnett, sorry. Spilt by Cridland, out of bounds on this near side. Giselle Burnett gets up, but it'll be Emily Cridland who loops one over to Bull, who trying to find Bartlett. Bull on the edge of the circle, good ball. Bartlett to draw them level. We're all square. This is one of the reasons that netball is catching on up and down the country, right across the British Isles. It's entertaining. And it's hard to predict. You would have thought Bath would have gone ahead there. But Missed chance by Collard, who's bagged the last 3 in a row. Yorkshire going again. Sugarman arrowed ball into this near side. Great bit of defensive work from Burnett. Bartlett wants Burnett to move again. Chose the trickiest of the passes to May. Good defending from Wilkinson on the far side. Bull now has to find a target. Collett coming out of that circle. Can't do anything from there, but gets back in. She's still on the outside. Contact made, and that will offer a chance now for Bath to regroup. Bartlett. And now Bath do have the lead. It's 7 for Bartlett. Real tussle between Sugarman and Bull. Sugarman gets the sweet decision. Near side, back again for Sugarman. Moving is Swain. Again, not worried about the distance. This time the accuracy lets her down, but she will be allowed to move slightly closer. And she's missed again. And up gets the Bath defender, India Monlaw. And that's a huge moment. Monlaw going for the return pass. Cridland, Burnett, Bartlett, Bull on the far side. All the Bs. And eventually you find the C in Collette. Goal. Two up now. Bath trailed for large parts of this game. Good defending from a lot of Heath Drury, but pulled back for an infringement elsewhere. Good ball over the top again. Burnett, Collett, Bartlett. Bath have come to life here. 3 ahead. This is really good stuff. 14-11. We've got 30 seconds remaining. Now it's Yorkshire that would like a late strike to close the gap, as Bath did at the end of the first quarter. Did she have control? No, says the umpire. Swain looked like she might have moved that foot a second time, but the umpire not spotting, and she can't find a pass through. There's 9 seconds here. Sugarman finds Swain. Contact in the centre. This has got to be quick, real quick. Up it goes, in it goes, and we're a little bit tighter because of that late strike from Libby Bruce. Half time, it's 14-12 to Bath. just moments away from getting back into the action. And here we go. Can Yorkshire now find a way to pull back the lead that Bath managed to get themselves at the end of the second quarter? Half time came. Just 2 points the difference. Mayor Lane is on as wing attack for Bath. Changing centre for Yorkshire as well. Ollie Dexter is on. An early score for Bath. Dexter already getting involved. Swain with the chance to make it 9 individual scores. Lays it off neatly. Libby Bruce finds the target. Another turnover. Dexter. Swain. That is number 9. Dexter to start from the centre pass again. Bullet into Swain quickly. Into Libby Bruce. Back over the top. Sugarman, Swain. It's all very quick from Yorkshire. And it's very accurate from Swain. And it's very much even again. 15 all. Real tenacity from Bath in the Yorkshire in the early stages. Collett doesn't go for goal herself. Great bit of space making though. Real great work from Collett. Got away from Felicity Stokes. And that's another score for Collett. I make that 8 for Daisy. 16-15 just away from the hands of Cridland. Looping pass. Libby Bruce on target once more. 16 all. 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. If, and I mean if, we are level at the end of the fourth quarter, 2 periods of 2 minutes will be played. Oh, Collett spills here. A chance now for Yorkshire to get back, and Maya Lane fighting. Look at how hard these youngsters are battling for every scrap. Every time the ball hits the court and it's not owned. Oh, wonderfully flicked backwards, doesn't make the target. Isla May is the voice of reason for a second, and then the captain inexcusably throwing possession away. Sugarman, Swain finding space as she does so well. And scoring again. That's 11. 2 periods of 2 minutes will be played. Should it be level at the end of the fourth quarter? Should it be level at the end of those 4 additional minutes? It's the golden goal, if you like. Next team to score wins. Proper playground stuff. But all of a sudden, Yorkshire are 2 ahead again. Myers, this ebbed and flowed. Over the top, Lane, good hands, good feet. Collett needs composure. She's got plenty of that. Dexter now becoming the linchpin of all things Yorkshire. Swain told to come forward. Even taking your shot or pass from the wrong place after being awarded a foul, can then draw a foul. So you note the players sometimes looking across at the umpires and making 100% sure that they're in the right place. Fall to the floor for Alana Heath-Drury, who's now giving away a foul. So too does Megan Prill. Not Megan Prill, is it? All defence has changed as well. Charlotte Beale, who's on goal defence. 2018 now. Two and a half minutes to go. Oh, and turned over almost immediately as Bath thought about halving the gap. Now they have to defend, stop it getting further. Good turn. It's another. 14, I make that for Swain. Dexter into Sugarman. Swain, good defending from Monlaw this time, but Alan May couldn't get to it first. Ball over the top for Libby Bruce, and it's another. And as we head towards the end of the third, it's now Bath that are chasing again. They had a +4 in the second quarter. Well, Yorkshire have come from 2 down to be 4 up. Lovely bit of play. Bull over the top. That's better. This is Bartlett. I make that 9. 22-19 to Yorkshire. Just over a minute remaining here. Yorkshire trying to make room. Swain. Oh, it's blocked, but the official bringing it back. That would have been a delight for Emily Cridland. Monlaw is still out of the game as well. Has to now rush to try and get there. Swain, that's a long way out, but that's beautiful footwork and very quick passing between Swain and Dexter. And it makes the gap 4. 30 seconds remaining. This will be the biggest gap of any quarter we've had. Yorkshire led by 2. Bath then led by 2. At the moment, Bath need 1 just to get it back to 3 here. Collett doesn't miss. I get the impression you might find Charlotte Steer coming on in the final quarter, and that's a good chance here. Shot taken too late, doesn't go in anyway. 1 more quarter to go before we know who finishes in 9th and 10th. It's 23-20 to Yorkshire at the moment. Final quarter of action in our first of 3 games, live here on Court 1. You can watch the action on Court 2, don't forget. Scotland taking on Northern Ireland currently on Court 2. Commentary not available on that game, but the live stream is showing the action and the scoreboard as well. Here, it's Yorkshire 23, Bath 21. Make that 24-21. She is phenomenal. Swain. 16. Now Collett needs to keep matching that. Tries to find Bull instead, but infringement on Bull means that a chance here for Bartlett to score, and she does. That's double figures for Bartlett as well. Dexter. Back to Dexter. Swain wants it. Gets it. Another tremendous effort from Swain at the moment. Bath have to get some possession and have to get some turnovers. Prince Jones is on for Bath. Lane has that tipped away from her by Dexter. Owen Lane has stepped on the line. Bath need to get some turnovers themselves, not give possession back to Yorkshire. Yorkshire in the driving seat, 25-22. Sugarman. Swain tried to peel away, but Monlaw read that. Swain misread it. Prince Jones, Cridland. Prince Jones again. Bull right in the centre. Lane going left. Oh, she spilt it. And for a second time in a row, it's Lane that's given possession back to Yorkshire when Bath need it most. Sugarman drives it into Swain. Looping pass upwards to Dexter over the top this time for Bruce. And it rolls off, battered away by Prince Jones, who was fouled by Swain. So Bath do in fact win possession back. Change here. On in wing attack comes Maya Hounsell. 3 potential shooters on the court here. Hounsell was replacing Lane, who just made those couple of mistakes, and you wonder if the energy was just sapping from Lane, which then takes your concentration away. Collett scores again. 23-25. The gap is 2. Another for Libby Bruce. As much as Prince Jones tried to prevent that. Spilled by Prince Jones, but adjudged to have been a foul from the opposite side umpire, it has to be said. And now another chance for Prince Jones to start. Good ball over the top. Hounsell. He was a pest outside and inside the scoring circle. She feeds Bartlett. Bartlett makes it 11 for her. Quickly though, Yorkshire come forward once more. The gap still 2. Bartlett. Bruce finds the target. Double figures now for all 4 of the shooters, both Yorkshire and Bath. Up and down the country we go for these 2 teams, don't we? Bath not able to score on this attempt. Dexter drives it into Sugarman, equally quick towards Swain, but that one's a little misplaced and picked off nicely by Monlaw, who wants the return. Bull thinks she's been impeded, and that's given her away. Bull moves. Prince Jones starts again. Hounsell. Over the top for Bull. Collett in acres of space to get it back to 2 again. Does. 3 minutes 13 on the clock. Sugarman down this near side. Swain has found herself being more and more outside of the goal scoring circle, certainly in this final quarter. Thought about going from distance, then was covered quite nicely over the top. Sugarman, Swain can't get to that. Prince Jones has to find the right pass. Dissected 2 blue shirts of Yorkshire. Cridland turning Hounsell. Contact made. Hounsell into Bull. How they need a score here. And Bartlett gives them that score. 26-27 with 2.5 minutes to go. Coming ninth never meant so much. Oh, mistake here by Hounsell, but she's been let off the hook slightly by the umpire's call. 2 seconds wasted in trying to retrieve. Prince Jones, Hounsell, Collett trying to move. Bartlett was barged, and Bartlett will score, and we are bang level with just 2 minutes left. You may as well have just played the final 2 minutes, and it's a turnover for Bath. Monlaw. Cridland. Bull can't get to it, but neither can Molly Dexter properly. Jones will fall to a royal blue Bath jersey. Hounsell coming short. Bull has space. 1:30 on the clock. Collett to go ahead. Bartlett does just that. 28-27. Obstruction. To go 2 ahead. Collett. Bartlett. A minute to go. And all of a sudden, Bath have turned it round again. Yorkshire possession. Oh, good play from Monlaw. No. And again Monlaw, but this time it does fall to Libby Bruce. And the gap is just 1. But it is Bath's turn. On comes Gumau. Off goes Cridland. 35 seconds. Yorkshire need possession. Gumau. Foul against Dexter. Hounsell. Bull. One more here for Bath might do it. Collett decides she's going to go for it. She's impeded. That will help. It's a miss. And out of bounds on the back. And on the goal line, Yorkshire come again. 5 seconds. It's got to find Swain. It does. Swain. Oh, we're all square. 29 all on the buzzer. What a finish. What a finish. Well, they've got to regroup very quickly. What a finish that is. What a finish. Elias Swain hits number 18 of the game. Right on the buzzer. Absolute scenes at the school games. 2 minutes each way. 29 all. Sugarman. These girls will be feeling exhausted. 4 days of action. Umpire screaming instructions across the court. Dexter. Chance to turn. Looking for Swain deep. It's Sugarman. Elias Swain became the hero right on the buzzer. And now Yorkshire have a lead again. This game has changed every quarter bar the last. It changed. And now everybody in this building is just gathering on the one court. It finished 31-5 over on court 2. Hounsell, Collett. Over to the other side to Bull. Collett again. She's close enough to strike. Yes, she is. It's number 15 for Daisy Collett, who got off to a slow start, it has to be said, in this game. Oh, Monlaw can't get there. Swain feeds it off, gets it back. That's 31. Number 20 of the game for Elias Swain. Oh, and a turnover here. Now, these could be huge with the amount of time that they play in this game. These could be huge, these turnovers. Dexter, Sugarman, Bruce to Swain. Thought about going from distance, has managed to find it. No, Prince Jones gets there, but illegally, says the official. And it's another for Elias Swain. 21 in this game. And Yorkshire have the opportunity to make it 3. Another infringement, this time by Gumau. Swain. It's 4 scores in a row for Swain. And they couldn't be any more important. Well, I don't think Yorkshire realise there's a second 2 minutes here. The rather premature celebrations. They've got to play 2 minutes of 2, not 1. And we are about ready for the second of our extra minutes. The whistle has blown. Out of play. Yorkshire are 3 up. What an important time in the game to start moving forward. Bull. Hounsell. Collette. Collette has time to turn. Doesn't find the target, and Yorkshire pick up the extras as well. Good ball over the top. Dexter. Sugarman. Sugarman again. Into Libby Bruce. Fancies a go herself. And all of a sudden Yorkshire have turned up the heat. We've had a minute. This is 60 seconds here for Bath to try and rescue 4 goals back. They've come from behind twice already. That's about all she wrote. 23 for Elias Swain. The Bath girls not giving up. Hounsell finding Bartlett. Hounsell again. Bartlett on the run. Collett comes out of the circle. Back here to Gamal. Back to Hounsell. Bartlett, the clock is just ticking away here. Oh, it's off the ring. And it will be a Yorkshire ball as well. My watch says 15 seconds. Dexter, easy for Sugarman. They're not in a rush here, they've given it away, but they've got plenty of time and points on the board. Bull, Hounsell, Collette. One for Pride. It goes wide. And that is the end of the 9th and 10th place game. Absolute drama at the end. Elias Swain scoring the equaliser at the very last second. And that meant we went to 2 minutes of extra time each way. And after those 4 minutes, Bath certainly couldn't cope with Yorkshire's just that extra level of energy that was left. The shot was retaken at the end, so it finishes 35-31. Come back to us in a little while. 11 o'clock is our scheduled start time for Loughborough Lightning versus Wasps in the 5th-6th clash. If it's anything like this, it'll be another cracker.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome back to the coverage of the 2018 school games. It is the inaugural netball competition of these school games. Never been done before, and I'll tell you, after a game like the last one, it will be here for a long, long time. What excitement we had in our opening game, and that was for 9th and 10th. How are we going to do here in a game for 5th and 6th? Loughborough Lightning taking on Wasps, a team that they've beaten 33-17 already during the course of these school games. But Lightning will take nothing for granted. Having had a perfect start on Thursday, things didn't always go their way the following days. Van Nederop finding Brooke Taylor in the early stages. Poppy Baker has had an indifferent school games. It's hard with youngsters to try and keep them going. Once they start missing, it's hard to get in their heads and keep the psyche going. But Baker gets off to the best possible start, having been recalled to this Lightning lineup. And that's her first score of the day, and a turnover immediately as well. McGlynn has the opportunity to get Lightning going forward once more. Brooke Taylor peeling away is Grace Brooks. Now Van Nederop, the captain for Lightning. Wing attack, her position on court. Looping it up to Baker. This will be very good for Baker's confidence. She'll get another crack at that as well. Umpire Lee deciding an infringement against the goalkeeper, and that one's dropped out this near side. Another bit of contact means that it's a first score of the game for Grace Brooks. Important for your goal scorers to get up and running early.
Yeah, definitely. Otherwise, if you go for the first 5-6 minutes of an 8-minute game without touching the ball or getting a shot away, then your confidence is kind of already gone for the first quarter.
Baker, who we saw a couple of times on day 2, have a quarter without any score, and that would have dented the confidence. They have Braithwaite as well, Lightning, so they have a good strength in depth. Wasps at the other end for them. They'll be relying on Lucy Elliott, who has replaced Kirsty Wallace as the main goal shooter for Wasps here in this 5th-6th playoff game. Good start for Lucy Elliott. The other voice you will hear during this game, the very delighted Yorkshire coach Francine Hall, who's alongside me, still grinning and smirking. And I think there's still a little bit of disbelief on the face as well from what just happened a moment ago. If you didn't see it, go back to YouTube and watch it all over again. Pretty much the last 30 seconds sums it all up. Chance for Daisy Porter. It's short. Bounces off the rim and comes out, and a real tussle between the two girls at the end, or the edge of the scoring circle, but this will be handed back to Lucy Elliott. And now Elliott has a second, so it's 2 apiece. We've played just about 3 minutes. Van Nederop and McGlynn combining twice. And Baker has the chance. Feet firmly planted on the floor. We'll leave this to Grace Brooks. And Lightning have a 3-2 lead. Maybe Makutu hits the ground. A chance for 3-all. Well, if this is anything like the last game, Francine, we're in for another tiring commentary.
For a long time.
Brooke Taylor peels backwards and finds McGlynn, but an infringement means that Brooke Taylor can easily play this in, not once but twice. Now Baker, again just spinning on that right foot, and Baker making this one look comfortable. Baker very different to Elias Swain, who plays as goal shooter for Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not just about the height. The accuracy that Swain showed in that last game proved just that.
Accuracy, and I think her power as well for being a shorter athlete. She's got a lot of explosive power to bring to the goal shoot position. It's nice to have a tall one at the end, though.
Still time to grow for Elias Swain, is the message from a coach. Thrown in to Elliott. Managing to find Porter. Wasps will want to contest this much more than they did on Sunday, on the earlier meeting between these two sides. That 33-17 didn't really show how much Wasps put in terms of effort. It did show us how well Loughborough can play on any given day, but here they've made a fair few changes to their first starting lineup. Ball trying to make its way in from Oswick, but Oswick will get another chance. In fact, Lucy Elliott to try and make it 4-all. Doesn't do so. Good strong hands from Abigail Ward. Van Nadop, quick from Brooke Taylor, got to land. So hard to nail that landing and not move again. Especially at the pace that Taylor was going. Feeding it in to Grace Brooks, who sinks this one. Some of the landings these girls make at speed, it's so hard to just not keep going, isn't it?
Yeah, and it takes a lot of pressure off your knees and ankles in particular as well, but they're nailing it for now.
You see things like the heavy strapping on Van Nadop, just to highlight what Francine Hall is saying. Even at this young age, they're going to feel creaks and aches.
Especially in a competition like this when there's a lot of games in over a few short space of time.
Well, 48 games to be precise by the end of today. Over 1,500 minutes of action. And the action so far on court one in this final day has been good. Baker makes it 6 for Loughborough. Baker and Brooks have shared 3 apiece so far. Wasps need to not let Lightning get too far ahead here. Tor over the top. Good play. Daisy Porter for her first score. Ward thought she'd block that. Unfairly, said the umpire. And that is Daisy Porter getting off the mark. A minute to go here. Wasps trail by 2. I've seen this story somewhere else. Lovely ball over the top, and Nirop wasn't expecting it, but she gratefully received. Brooks, oh, round and round we go, but when they fall down, nobody minds how many navigations of the ring it takes. Oswick needs some help. Tor, she didn't get any help from the umpire. McLean now for Lightning, into Brooke Taylor. 30 seconds. Brooke Taylor again. Brooks, who's been good from distance as well as close range. Baker. And it's 8-4. Wasps would welcome a score here, but they're not going to get much of a chance with just 10 seconds left. In fact, Van Nadop with a long one. Great hands from Baker. And the score. And that will dent the confidence of Wasps a little bit as we head towards the end of the first quarter. A minute's gap. It's 9-4 to Lightning. So as the two teams make their way back onto court, just explain to me what went through you as emotion-wise when that shot from Elias Swain went in on the buzzer to draw us all level after the fourth quarter in that last game.
I don't think we really knew what was going on because obviously we've never had a extra time playoff in the school games, yes, because they've just been group matches, so draws are allowed, and we hadn't really looked into the rules, to be honest, about what was happening. So it was just a bit of oscillation, but then trying to calm the girls down once we figured out how we had to play 2 minutes each way.
And even after the first period of 2 minutes, a few of your ladies thought it was all over there as well.
I think we struggled to get the message across clearly to them all.
The start of this second quarter has seen Lucy Elliott fire number 5 on the board for Wasp, with a turnover here. Baker can't hold it, but she's adjudged to have been fouled by Izzy Bridge. And that one goes in. How hard is it to instill discipline in these girls at this age? The information they have to hold is that if they play their own game and don't give the ball away, they'll have more chance to win.
Yeah, I think, well, people always say it's a 50-50 game. You get half a possession, you just need to convert off it, and it's when they get that turnover, how excitable they get. That's when for us, we've seen the most of our possession losses. But they get there in the end.
Chance for Lightning again. Another for Grace Brooks. She now has 5. 11-5 the score here, and again, as we mentioned, Wasp trying to prevent what happened in that 33-17 defeat. And Baker's confidence grows with every shot, it would appear. We mentioned earlier, height is just half the attribute to be a good goal shooter. It's a great asset.
It's a good asset, yeah. Especially when all the defenders seem to be getting taller and taller as well.
And it goes from Porter. Brooke Jones now into the scoring circle, and again Baker very happy to receive and very happy to convert as well. This is Tor, Lucy Tor Oswick, Isla Finley all the way to the other side, and Tor just can't get there, and there's already an element of the heads being a little down from Wasps. Something the coaching staff will have to deal with when we get to half-time, but there's still 5 minutes for that. Brooke Taylor just managing to hold on to that. Wasn't deemed to have held the ball in the first instance, so was allowed to pick it up the second time, and that has led to Baker finding the score. Van Nedop does well. I know they're excited about the prospect of Van Nedop, captain of this side. We've seen some really good players, and again, looking across, you'll have watched a lot of the games of other teams to kind of get an idea of them. There are some very good youngsters here.
Yeah, it's amazing to see that they're actually under 15 as well. You look at them, you think there's not far off like senior level there.
Some players playing well beyond their years, it would have seemed. I think it's fair to say Elias Swain fits into that bracket, so too Van Nedop. It's not all about the shooters, though. You have to have good defenders inside as well, and I've seen a few of those that have caught the eye over the course of these 4 games that you feel may go on to do bigger and better things. London Pulse playing on the other court. They've got Scarlett Brown as their goalkeeper, who has been absolutely tremendous for London Pulse.
Yeah.
Goals ticking over here on court 1, but they're going in the wrong net from a Wasp perspective. And Baker really is enjoying herself this time around. She went whole quarters without scoring in the last 2 days. Here, she's already up to 12, and there's still 3 minutes remaining until half-time. Oswick, another who has a fantastic engine, doesn't stop moving. This time, Lucy Elliott gets up to 5. Brooke Taylor again, leaping into the air, sticking the landing. Oh, unlucky. Isla Finley, Tor. Needs some movement, perhaps lucky to get away with not moving there. Umpire perhaps just looked away at the opportune moment for Tor. Got to keep those feet still. Good long ball. Deciding to go for it from distance. That's good for Lucy Elliott. And it gets us back to 17-10. It's a cracking game on court 2. If you want to flick over to that, feel free. We won't be hurt. There's no commentary on court 2, but you can watch Northumbria and London Pulse. Another good strike from Lucy Elliott. That will help the confidence, getting a couple in a row.
Yeah, definitely. You always want to convert on your turnover, so when they've got a few on the trot, they hopefully start to build a bit of momentum again.
Taylor into Van Nadok. Baker moving, so too Bridge. Brooks, sorry, but not able to finish for the second time in a row, and another chance for Wasps to try and shut this scoreline down a little. Down the line, Porter, Tor, good turn. Baker, Elliott, sorry, again thinking about going from distance, happy to take this on. We saw again a lot of this from Swain, just happy to take on the target no matter where they were.
In my head I was like, please try and get a bit closer to the post, but she was happy.
I thought you might have been.
If they're confident, you've got to be confident in them.
Oh. Over 20 points in the game would suggest that she knew better. And this is very good from Lucy Elliott. She's hit a real purple patch against the purple and pink of Loughborough. 45 seconds on the clock, 17-30, and a great bit of defending. Superb reach from Izzy Bridge. Possession stays with Loughborough, but at least they have another opportunity to stop them. Baker finds another 13 inside the first half for Poppy Baker. That's impressive. Tor, we've got to go forward here, and that's given straight away. Tor's footwork has been a little bit suspect in this first half. 7 seconds. Will take a mighty effort to get it from back to front, and they won't manage it. So the buzzer for half time sounds. It's Lightning 18, Wasps 13, but plenty for Wasps to be encouraged by in that second quarter. Getting ready for the second half. How easy is it now to get young ladies to come and take part in netball, having won the Commonwealth Games this year as well? It just feels like netball is something that's got more and more popular. The Vitality Netball Super League must help. being broadcast on TV weekly. It's a fantastic league. The franchises are big and bright and bold, and they play in some fantastic venues as well, including the Sir David Wallace here for Loughborough Lightning. It must be a dream now.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think there's always been the opportunity for the young girls to play and the access for them. It's just how well it's been known about clubs and things. I know particularly in Yorkshire we've got a lot of clubs and a lot of strong areas in the region. It's just making sure all the girls have access to that and aren't being put off by things like pricings and training nights and all that kind of thing. But trying to get the men involved and boys involved and get a bit more of the mixed netball coming through, that'd be nice to see as well.
Long are the days gone that people thought that netball wasn't a contact sport or even remotely physical. Even watching this, I've come out in bruises. Baker starts as she left off in the first half. It's not for the faint-hearted at times, is it? People like Brooke Taylor here, you just saw it, barging their way through and desperate to reach every ball that seems, even if it's a 70-30, I might try and get that.
Yeah, particularly in an 8-minute quarter game, you've got half the time of a normal game, I guess, to try and get through it, so they need to go for every ball. It's good to see she's got that fight and determination as well.
Netball's also another of those sports that encourages all sorts of body shapes and sizes as well. There's a position for you no matter what. Baker reaching high and finding the target. It's somewhat of a thankless task for the goalkeeper sometimes, isn't it? If you walk onto court and find the opposing goal scorer has 3 or 4 inches on you immediately, they've got long arms and long legs. You just have to stay focused, and it's then all about getting in the right position, isn't it? Yeah,
because then the feeders see that as well. So as long as you confuse that space as much as possible, then the feeders get more nervous and the shooter then gets unsure on where she wants to be as well.
Of course, reading games and reading tactics is something that comes with age as well. At this stage, it's very much the energy as well as the attributes they have that carries them through as they get older. People like Van Neer, what we were mentioning earlier, just seem to play above their years, not just in the athletic ability, but in their way of reading the game.
I think she has been playing in some of the Loughborough older teams as well. I think we've seen her out through the season at MPL and stuff, so it's good that they're getting the opportunity to play out, and obviously pays dividends when they come to these sorts of competitions.
People like you or I can look back in a few years ago. I remember when.
Yeah.
Another strike.
I saw her.
Yeah. I saw you when. Good to see these playoff games being played with the right spirit as well. I know we talk a lot about here at the school games the spirit of the games, but both of these contests so far have been played at a great pace.
Yeah. I think netball's one of them things as well, because the girls play so much of it. They always take that intensity and they just love it. So they always take that intensity on the court.
Bridge finds Finley. Robley. It's flicked away and no infringement in there, so Brooke Taylor gratefully received the pass. She'll get another one showing her energy levels, covering a lot of the court in a short period of time, and Baker at 16 now. Complete change of character for Baker. Yesterday it was visible, having been subbed after just 1 quarter on the court, and that's a collision on the far side. We haven't had too many bad injuries, but I think a bang of the head against the back wall maybe. But this will show us just how much of a tough cookie some of these girls are.
Yeah.
Not mentioning the sports, some people would be rolling around over there, wouldn't they?
A few might be, yeah.
A summer of theatrics ending in hardcore netball.
There's not enough time for the theatrics. The game moves on.
Yeah, there just isn't. Maybe that's a thing that other sports can take into consideration. But Taylor wants the option. Coming short was Brooks. Van Needop, good play. A miss from Brooks. Is that something that takes time to educate? Brooks there went short and then dropped back very quickly and confused Robley as to where she was. Do you have to educate that into them, or is that something they just discover they can do?
I think it's a bit of both. I think as well it comes to the point where the feeders are faking the front one to make the defender go for it a bit more, and then they can place the ball a bit cleaner over the top. So I think it's a combination of both. I reckon the girls watch a lot of netball now and think, I want to try that. That looks like I could do. So they'll learn themselves. You just got to teach them.
And again,
similar kind of movement.
Yeah, Brooks just looking like she's coming out to this near side on the goal line, but then darting back behind Robley, and Robley will be starting to feel a little bit dizzy if that carries on. Tor can't get there, and Lightning have just turned it up a notch here in this third quarter. And Nero, Brooks, again, good movement, launched backwards. Oh, well, if that is a Lightning ball, they've done pretty well to keep that, and it is. Nero gives it to Brooks, who's having a super last minute or so. That one doesn't go in for her, though. That really would have capped off a minute or so for Brooks. All over the place, keeping that last long ball on court. Wallace Stanley is on now for Wasps as well. Another for Elliott. Baker once again. Got a couple of minutes without scoring, but just 2 minutes left here in the third quarter. 24-16. Wasps could do with a good final 2 minutes to potentially give us a grandstand finish. And the strike with 1:44 on the clock. Baker. Well, Wasp will know, and it's quite obvious from watching, they've just got to try and prevent the ease of which Baker is receiving the pass.
I think it's difficult because she can go for the overboard and then she can pop forward like she just has done, and so just changes it up for the defence.
Again, the difference in the heights of the shooters, those with the long legs being able to reach forward and then just pirouette backwards. It's as if they're an extendable ladder, for instance, but it works for them. As long as they keep that foot nice and firmly planted. And again, Baker just reaches up. You won't have seen it on the screen, but we're so close to Isabel Bridge. She just rolled her eyes. As if to say not again, but unfortunately, it was indeed again. 26-18, 40 seconds remaining, and Wasps have given this away. I think Megan Evans was actually waiting for the whistle to go there. She thought she double-handled that, but it didn't. Again, just an example of the long leg. This time doesn't come off for Baker, but makes amends. That's 20, and we've still got a quarter to go. It's 21 all on court 2. Long ball forward with a few seconds remaining. Wasps will struggle to get this down the other end. And there is the buzzer. No shot fired away. So at the end of the third quarter, it's Lightning 27, Wasps 18. Can't see us getting the sort of finish we had in game number 1 of the day, but who knows? Those who follow the Vitality Netball Super League will know that these are the colours of the two teams and the development sides of the two teams that have been in the final for the last 2 years, and unlike this score, it's been Wasps that have had the better of the occasion, much to the upset of Loughborough Lightning over the last couple of years, so there'll be a little bit of a sense of one-upmanship for Loughborough Lightning's coaching staff, I'm sure. What a shot that is from Baker. Beth Cobden is one of the people on site for the school games. Inspiration being taken by athletes from all sorts of sports here across the school games, and Beth Cobden has been here on a few occasions to offer words of wisdom. Cruelly injured in the Super League final. Part of that winning England side, of course, on the Gold Coast. Baker was going for 3 from 3, but just runs across the back. Again, just to mention here in the fourth quarter, you can watch court number 2. It does come without commentary, but you can watch a game that is now 22-21 to Northumbria, who I can tell you were quite far behind early on in the game. Here it's 30-19 now, as Baker does indeed add another. Finley. Elliott quite far outside of the scoring circle. Elliott gifted the chance to add her 15th. She does. Good play Van Neerop again down the line. Brooke Taylor struggling to keep that in and then trying not to go through the air vent on the far side. And nobody knows what's behind there. You don't want to go in there. Finley. Oswick now having moved into centre. Since the introduction of Stanley. Here is Alana Stanley. Oswick. Missed by Daisy Porter, but unfair contact from the umpire means that she gets the opportunity to make it 21. The gap is 9. It's 23 all with 4.5 minutes to go on court number 2. Hey, look, we can't pick the games. Over the top. That's a real coming together from Brooke Taylor and Alana Stanley, unfairly from the Loughborough centre. Elliott under a little bit of pressure, but not feeling it. And she has 16. Baker has been a bit of a passenger for the last minute or so. How will she respond to that? The best way. 24. Amazing how a good night's sleep can change your confidence, isn't it?
Revitalise them.
McGlynn trying to prevent the pass. And Elliott going from distance. Defensively, you're trying to push back the shooters as far as you can, but when they're hitting them from there, just demoralises you a little bit, doesn't it?
You're doing everything right, but they still slot at home.
Oh, lovely. That's real good. Forward, Porter. So, Brooke Taylor looping one up towards Baker, cleared away, but it's a Loughborough hand that gets to it first. 2.5 minutes to go. Finley. Oswick down the line, but they go long to the other side instead. Finley slips through the fingers of Porter. It's a foot race between Brooke Taylor and Oswick and the two centres. Tenacity is one of the skill sets that you need as a centre, isn't it?
Definitely in the mid-court, yeah.
And thick skin.
Every coach wants to see their players run a ball down 2 minutes to go.
May as well drop a bleep test in the middle of the game as well, hadn't you? Vicious, coaches, you're just vicious. I think anybody that's played sport and heard their coach shout, keep running with about 30 seconds left, doesn't feel much love at the time. Baker doing well, but far too off balance to be able to get a shot away, so tries to pull that back towards the centre, Brooke Taylor. And then an infringement means that Loughborough will get a chance to add to their tally anyway. 25 for Poppy Baker. Lightning on their way to finishing 5th in what really is a home tournament, if you like. Elliott really grown in confidence as the game has gone on, Lucy Elliott. 33-25, 45 seconds to go. If you think this is quick, the Fast Fives is still to come, and the Super League as well. Plenty of netball action. Feels like it's all year round now, doesn't it? Especially with the Commonwealth Games as well. And the Super League, I believe the first game is late January or early February, one of the two. Pre-season games starting in December. Once more for Elliott. 19 of her own in the 26. That's out of bounds, and Wasps will have this with just a second remaining. And there is the full-time buzzer. A very competitive game. It doesn't have the grandstand ending that we had in our first one, but it is Lightning 34. Somebody has a monkey's head mascot for some reason. I'm not even going to try and get into that. Wasps 26. Thank you very much to Francine Hall for joining us in commentary. Yorkshire will be off to celebrate that win now they have their coach back. Lightning can celebrate being in 5th, and we will bring you the grand final, Mavericks versus 7 Stars, at 12 o'clock.
1, 2, 3.
Well, this is it. 48 games in total here at the school games. 1,536 minutes of action is what it takes for us to decide who are the inaugural school games champions. It is the gold versus silver medal match here on court 1 with myself and Danny Titmus, head of the academy at Wasps. We're on court 1. You can watch the action on court 2. That comes without commentary. Surrey Storm taking on Manchester Thunder. It is 4 franchise teams taking on each other on the final games of the school games. So buckle up, get ready. And it's Mavericks in the purple and black who have a first opportunity to cause a problem for the scorers. And it's 7 Stars to give the first infringement of the game as well. The umpire signifying that Hayley Robinson was moving her feet far too much for her liking. 2 Robinsons on the court for 7 Stars. Don't rub your eyes, they are twins. Distinguishable by the double plaits for Hayley Robinson. And Rudy Robinson has a rather fluffy bun on top of the head. That's how I've been getting through. 3 attempts it's taken, but Mavericks finally do get off the mark. How important is it to try and strike early in a final of any sorts?
Yeah, it's crucial. You want to make your mark early on. So the thing is to make sure that you can score your centre passes.
Amy Durrant for 7 Stars with an opportunity a moment ago. The orange and white trainers at Durrant. And well, it would have been an infringement by Howell. Sorry, by Katie Fisher. Mavericks. The first time Mavericks have had the commentary service. Their games have predominantly been on court number 2 as Rudy Robinson takes one to the face. And when Mavericks did play on court 1 yesterday, our attention's turned over to court 2. So if you are a Mavericks fan and you're tuning in for the first time, this is what all the games have sounded like. You've just waited until the final to get the big treatment. Another good score from Durrant. And 7 Stars find themselves 2-1 back with 2.5 minutes gone, but as we saw in the opening game, you have to play right to the buzzer. In fact, the young lady that scored right on the buzzer for Yorkshire is just walking in front of our commentary position. Two all. 5 minutes on the clock. And this is Stearns, but 7 Stars will come away with this. 2 Robinsons combining and then finding the waiting Ellie Gabriel. Gabriel is the captain for 7 Stars. Mavericks won on Friday against 7 Stars in the only time that these two met in the group stage. 23-16. 7 Stars will know they need to play much better if they are to take the title. A couple in a row for Isabel Eaton, who strikes a big figure up top for Seven Stars. Robinson into Jones, who isn't afraid to shoot from distance, and Seven Stars have got themselves a good start here. 4-2 up halfway through the first quarter. You just want to make an impact, don't you, as a player in the early stages. Show that you are ready and up for it. Another chance here for Charlotte Jennings-Evans. It's 4-3. You can see this being tied all the way through, can't you?
Yeah, it's actually interesting you commented about when they played last. So Seven Stars have had a change in their lineup since then. We've been chatting with Sam Cook, their coach, and I think she's really, really up for it. It's the first time Seven Stars has been in a final at any age group, so very keen for them. They're very keen to come away with a win.
Of course, writing your name in the history books, netball making its first appearance at these school games. It's a little bit of an honour to start with.
Definitely.
Anna Gabriel finding a way onto the floor a moment ago. Been chatting away with Francine Hall in the last game, the coach from Yorkshire, and we were talking about the fact that long gone are the days where people think that netball is non-contact and non-physical. It's certainly a tough old sport these days.
Yeah, it's contest.
Whether it be accidental contact or just running into a player, you've got to be prepared for it. Not quite finding the accuracy so far that they would want, either side really. And that one rolls away as well, but the umpire deciding that too much interest from Hannah Howell. The coach has described her as the backbone of the team the other day. We try and lead by example. So too will Katie Fisher at the back for Mavericks, but 6-4. 1.5 minutes just about remaining. Another for Durand. We've got the start I think we expected. Very close, very competitive. Oh, and that's, well, I'll tell you what, that's a sigh of relief for Lily Jones. And then goes and corrects that by scoring. Just turned around and passed it straight to Maisie Stearns, but the umpire spotting something in the process, which meant that Seven Stars did clock up number 7. 60 seconds remaining. Spilt, and that means that she already had it under control once. Can't do it twice. Rudy Robinson trying to pass this out from wing defence. One of the Robinson sisters went to get some water from the free water stand. The other Robinson went and was told she couldn't have any because she'd just been. That's how much they look alike. They were telling me that story yesterday in good spirit. Said the lady was so apologetic she walked away with 3 bottles. 25 seconds remaining. 7 Stars to go 8-5 up here, and they do. Jones is very comfortable shooting from pretty much anywhere in that scoring circle. That's good defensive work, and then a very strange pass into trouble. And Jones will find another, and well, Mavericks with their own undoing there. As we come into the final few seconds of this first quarter, Mavericks will have a little work to do. It's 7 Stars 5, Mavericks 9, 60 seconds to catch their breath. Well, once again, welcome back to the coverage here on Court 1. Again, you can watch Court 2 if you like. Go to the main website page and look for Court 2's live stream. That's Storm versus Thunder in the bronze medal match. It's currently 7-6 to Storm. Here, Mavericks have got themselves an early turnover. And they'll need a few of those during this second quarter. Trail 9-5. Ollie James, the wing defender, starting that move. The Bright Orange trainers need to get a little bit more service and a quicker speed. Up to Charlotte Jennings-Evans. Stearns trying to do just that. Picks out Durran instead. Just dropping in. That's for Durran. You've been watching this as somebody who's able to look at players and assess their abilities. Talk to me about the standards you feel that we've been watching here at these school games.
It's been really interesting for me to watch some under-15 stuff, actually. Normally I work with under-21s and the 19s and stuff. And yeah, they're definitely at the start of their journeys and their netball. There's a lot of errors across all of the board from every team. That's something I've definitely noticed. They're all playing with a lot of passion and a lot of heart. And you think as they start to go up the pathway, some of those errors, their handling skills and some of their movements will definitely tidy up. But standard's been good.
I think we've seen a fair amount of players playing probably beyond their years as well, haven't we?
Yeah, there was a clash with the National Academy Summer Camp, so athletes that were invited into that were therefore unable to play in this. So I know Thunder, Pulse, Wasps lost a few players because of that, and therefore it's the younger ones that have had to step up. But what an opportunity for them.
I was going to say, the word opportunity is probably the best thing to say, certainly again at something like the school games. 11-8 at present, with 5.5 to go until half time. 8-all in the other game. It's a moment of fortune there as Hayley Robinson just mistimed her jump and wasn't able to intercept that pass, and then the umpire prevents Seven Stars from getting possession once again. Stearns looks to start another attack for Mavericks. Durrand. Ball bounces off the forehead of Annabelle Hall. But you need moments of fortune. Charlotte Jennings-Evans has received the ball much more in this second quarter. Doesn't find the target this time around, but luckily for Mavericks, Amy Durran was willing and able. Robinson. They've got a good bunch of players in the Robinson sisters, Seven Stars. And again, looking into the back pocket and finding Isabel Eaton, who adds a fifth. That's the sixth, should I say, for Eaton. So that's 12-9, Seven Stars with half of the second quarter to come. Mavericks to try and move within two. Durand again. That one will bounce away, and Seven Stars defensively looking very assured in the early stages of this final. And then that happens.
Yeah.
I believe they call that the commentator's curse, and then a wild pass. How much will nerves have an effect on this sort of age group?
I think particularly with these two guys that are not used to playing in finals, definitely nerves will play their part, and it matters so much to all of them. You know, they all want to win. They want to be the inaugural winners.
Well, we saw how much the 9th and 10th place game meant a little bit earlier on, that neither side was letting that one go. I'm sure here in the final the nerves are jangling even more so. The anticipation and want of a gold medal to walk away with, to show schoolmates and classmates in a matter of days.
And they just need to think this is just another game of netball. Don't put that pressure on themselves.
And that's hard to instill in senior teams, let alone in junior teams. And again, there's the element of physicality that can appear in netball. Stand your ground or get knocked over. Mavericks desperately trying to turn over the ball at every opportunity, but it has to be done legally. Isabel Jones fakes the shot. And finds Eaton. Mavericks start again, now trailing by 5. They were within 3 at one moment. 5 now for Jennings Evans as Mavericks as a team reach double figures. Jones, good defensive work, but disappointment etched on the face of Molly James. All that effort for nothing. Finished by Lily Jones. I think it's important for players at this age as well to realise that people who pick senior teams or even the next phase, whether it be under 17s or 19s, not necessarily looking for the players that are on winning teams all the time. It's those that are competing hard and showing an ability to perhaps get even better, even at this stage, isn't it?
100%. It's a great turnover there. Yeah, when, so with the national selector, when we were looking at players, for me personally, I like to see if people are gritty. Are they prepared to go out there, put their bodies on the line? How hungry are they? How much do they want it? How prepared are they to learn? Because all of these guys at the moment are not the finished product. They've all got so much to learn. So if they're coachable, it's a really good starting point.
Players who visibly let their shoulders go down or their heads, for instance, would perhaps fall behind those that work hard but get beat with players around them. Mavericks getting close again. In fact, that one not counting, so and real lacks of concentration there. And this will allow another chance for Jennings Evans, and now they do go back within 3. 20 seconds remaining. If they can get another one, we'll start the second half with just 2 points the difference. And we did say we thought this would be tight from start to finish. Mavericks, having fell behind by 5 at one point, would love to go into half-time just 2 down. They've got this shot to do it, and out of bounds it goes. And well, 7 Stars hang on to a 3-point lead. We've seen a 5-point lead clawed back here on day number 4. Will we see a 3-point lead clawed back by Mavericks during this final? 15-12 to 7 Stars. It's half-time. 16 minutes between now and finding out who is victorious here at the netball of the 2018 school games. I say 16 minutes with the caveat that if we are all tied at the end of those 16 minutes, 2 periods of 2 minutes will be played, and if we're still tied, heaven forbid, we come to the golden goal, if you like. The first team to score simply takes the title. We thought that this game had pressure already, imagining being in the golden goal scenario at this age, knowing that your shot might win the whole thing. Good ball into the goal line from one side to another, and Isabel Eaton continues to find the target with ease. Not the highest of scoring games as we've seen in some of the other playoffs. We can't put all of that down to nerves. Quality of defending has been high. Both sides trying to turn over as much as they physically possibly can. At this age, what are some of the messages that you would try and get across to players?
So there's a couple of things. Something that we talk about at Wasp is called doubling up, and that means when you score off of a turnover and it's your centre pass next, it's critical that you score that centre pass, and that's how you'll incrementally get the score. And
to highlight that to perhaps people watching on who aren't at this level yet, for instance, that's what Mavericks need to do here. To close that gap, they need to score on their own, retrieve, score again, and then even adding a third by going straight back up the other end and adding another one. So,
so critical to score your centre passes, and if you score a turnover, then you better make sure you score your centre pass after that. The other thing we talk about as well is having 7 players in attack and 7 players in defence, so that whenever we're in possession of the ball, that whoever's in possession of the ball, every single one of those players has a collective responsibility to make sure they get it into a shooting opportunity, and then the flip. When they're not, everybody needs to be a defender.
Of course, those new perhaps to watching netball, unlike many ball sports, you can't just go where you feel like. In this one, you are assigned a certain area of the 3 parts of the court. Goalkeepers sometimes get themselves outside of the scoring circle, but not very often. But they certainly can't go past the next transverse line. Centres go from circle to circle. You feel for them when it comes to the fitness test. 7 Stars going well. Eaton with another. Mavericks here, keeping it in with their captain. Fisher can't find another purple and black outfit to get the ball to. It's a good ball across. Seven Stars giving Hayley Robinson a break. This is Mia Matthewson now playing at centre. I'll have to ask coaches to describe these players at times, and when I said which one's Mia Matthewson, the answer from the coach was simply that tiny one over there. But height, not always that important in that centre role, is it?
No, you need them to be the engine. So as you were saying, you need them to be able to fit, link the middle, feed the circle.
Just what Stearns is trying to do now. Their range of passing as a centre has got to be good as well. That's touched out over the goal line on this near side to our commentary position, the right side of your screen. 13-19. And a chance to make that a 7-point gap is heading Seven Stars' way. Jones will just swivel and turn, and again, as I mentioned earlier, Jones has been comfortable from all manner of distances during these school games. How much will this start to play on the psyche now as we start to approach the end of the third quarter? Being back by 7 is not where you want to be.
No, it will be tough, and this is an opportunity for Stars to do a double up. It is going to be tough for Mavs, but it's never over till it's over. And actually, you look and say the difference is now 8, but that's only 4 turnovers, and these guys make errors, so completely they could come back into this.
Very often see some of the ladies looking up and looking at the clock and looking at the score, but and errors for Mavericks right now are the last thing they want. And Jones will hand this off to Isabel Eaton. Those two have done everything that's been required of them so far in this game. And again, Stars looking to add another. Changes coming here. Goal attack for Mavs was Durand. She's come off. Jennings has gone to goal attack. And a change of goal shooter. Ellie Stone. At the moment, it's getting the ball to their shooters that's causing the most problems for Mavericks. Not a problem for Lily Jones. 23-13. That gap has gone from 7 to 10 in the blink of an eye, and it might get worse here with another turnover. It's just over 2 minutes to go. Our Seven Stars compiling a lead good enough to take the school games gold medal at the first time of asking. 2 minutes in the third quarter remaining. Lily Jones has been phenomenal and finds the target once more. 13-24. If there is ever time for a hero in a purple outfit, it's now, as the umpire's table nearly takes a trip to the floor. More WWE than netball, that one. First time pass doesn't come off, but everything Seven Stars are doing is working, even when it rolls around the hoop. 25-13. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, that minute between periods 1 and 3, it's not a great deal of time for you to say anything as a coach.
No, not really. The thing that Mavs need to work on now is actually just getting their centre passes out. So they need to have a bit of a better connection between their wing attack and the goal attack and think about punching through. So they're too cheaply giving the ball away. Whilst you get given possession every other centre pass, and at the moment they're not connecting, and partly because of the work Stars are doing defensively. But they need to not panic and just go back to doing what is their job, rather than everyone trying to get the same ball at the same time.
And Charlotte Jennings-Evans has waited what feels like an age for a chance, and when it came, it wasn't converted. That's a loose pass from Seven Stars, but they'll maintain possession. Good use of the advantage rule by the official there. Good defensive work as well. Holly James hasn't stopped yet, and we are very much near the end of the third quarter. James kind of signifying what we were talking about a little bit earlier on, somebody who's perhaps on the losing team, but she certainly hasn't stopped moving up and down that court.
Yeah, completely. I have to say the same as well for Amelia Barkley. I think she's been an absolute fighter, totally out there, just putting her body on the line. And that's what you've got to do is defence. Just keep going.
13-25 at the end of the third quarter. Maverick needs something genius here in the final quarter. We're back in a moment. Once again, to talk about the levels of concentration, there's two aspects to this in this final quarter. Seven Stars have to keep theirs and keep playing as they are and not relent. On the other hand, Mavericks have to just focus, go out and play as well as they can, and hope things go their way.
Yeah, they need to start scoring their centre passes would be a good starting point. better attempt.
14-26, just over 7 minutes remaining. But every time one of the 7 Stars shooters gets it, you fear that the scoreboard will tick over once more, and it does. Eton well into double figures. As Danny was saying, all Mavericks can do is convert their own. And they are. Charlotte Jennings-Evans shrill of the whistle. Again, goes 7 Stars' way. Matthewson. Matthewson again, trying to find Jones, who has the redness of the cheeks that suggests she's nigh on running on empty, but down she goes again, clattered by the goal defender going past her, but Jones won't mind that. Doesn't seem to hurt so much when you're on the winning side, does it?
No.
Inside 6 minutes, the gap is still 12. Make it 11. Charlotte Jennings-Evans converting a couple, and now this is what Danny's been talking about. One from the turnover, one from their own centre pass now would be required to get within 10. It's an absolute cracker on court 2, by the way. I can't ignore it. You can hear the noise levels. 20 all in the bronze medal match. In fact, Storm have just gone ahead, 21-20. If you want to watch court 2, just simply click on the live view button for court 2. It comes without commentary, but you can see what's happening out there. Here, 7 Stars looking to get this back to 12. Mavericks been penalised. Another chance for Eton. And Mavericks didn't capitalise on the turnover and didn't score from their own centre pass, and that's been probably, I think, your take on this game more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah. 7 Star shooters have been on point as well. You know, as you said, when they're given the opportunity, they're delivering for the rest of their team.
At all levels of sport, you have the big game players, those that can just step up and deliver. Eton in one of those positions in this sport where you just have to do the same thing over and over again. Get to the ball, find enough space. But then the second part of that job is to make sure you're on, as you say, on point with your accuracy. And something that Eton has done over and over again in this final. 29-16, under 4 minutes to go. That one tried to creep out, but Charlotte Jennings-Evans. And massive changes for 7 Stars. I'm sure a part of that is to kill a little bit of time. It doesn't matter what level of sport we're at these days. Everybody knows the same tricks.
I think also they would believe that they've probably won it. You've got 3.5 minutes. You're, what's that, 13 up? A lot, no more than that. It's a lot up.
12
up
is the difference.
And I think they've just flooded the bench.
Yeah.
And why not give all these girls the opportunity to play in a gold medal match?
Yeah, Madeline McLeod, one of those coming on. Georgina Thorpe, another. She's gone to wing attack. Mavericks haven't given up, and that's a trait that you'd be looking for as well, wouldn't you? All of their players are still trying to move it. Some days you just find an opposition that you can't play against. And Mavericks have already beaten 7 Stars once here. But on the biggest stage of this competition, the final, it has just been 7 Stars' day to try and close the gap to 10 again. They have done. There's 2.5 minutes remaining. Once again, if you want to watch the bronze medal match, you can do. It's 23-22 to Thunder now. Here in the gold medal match. It's a delight to watch Seven Stars, it really is. Another goes in. Eaton went off a little while ago. In towards Jennings Heffens, and well, she's even changed position in this game, Charlotte Devaney Evans. You have to give her a credit. She's kept on going. They felt like they'd won that fairly, but the umpire saying no. 1:30 remaining. 30-20 here as a contest. Anybody with an ounce of realism knows that this one is done. Would need to be catastrophic from Seven Stars, and in fact Mavericks have lost the ball again here. Credit to the coaching staff of Seven Stars. They've got their team playing some good netball. They're very disciplined. They're clearly a very fit bunch of girls, as they all are, having played the amount of games they have over the course of 4 days. But you can only ever have one winner, and I think Seven Stars, with 38 seconds to go here, Danny, have showed us that they are the deserving team.
Yeah, completely. This has been a really good performance by them, and I'm really happy for Sam Cook. She's doing a great job down at Seven Stars, and this is, you know, a relatively new franchise. It's only in their second year of the pathway, and this is, you know, I know she'll be incredibly pleased with this.
18 seconds remaining. Good defensive work from Mavericks, just to highlight the fact that they haven't given up, and then they give the ball away, probably just to emphasise the problem they've had throughout the course of the final. A little bit scrappy in the final seconds. There is a chance to level on court 2 with 3 seconds remaining, and it rolls out. I can tell you that here on court number 1, it has finished Seven Stars 32, Mavericks 20. On court 2, the bronze medal match went down to the very last shot. It was 23-24. Thunder had a shot on the buzzer. It rolled right around the ring, and Lady Luck had ran out for Thunder. It dropped the other side, so it's Storm that take the bronze medal match. Danny, just going back to what we witnessed here in the gold medal match here on court number 1, sum up the quality, sum up the team that were Seven Stars.
I think they obviously stuck to task. There were 7 players in attack, 7 players in defence. They just didn't cough up possession at all cheaply. The defensive work that they did in the beginning meant that they could win ball, and then they just pushed ahead. They just twisted the knife when they got that lead. Just didn't stop.
And lots of hugs and kisses for the coaches as well, and that again just sums up how much of an important role that those people on the sidelines have, not just in the game time but in the development of these young human beings.
Yeah, completely. And you are looking more about, like, you know, the holistic side of stuff, the whole package. When you said it's a 4-day comp, this is almost survival of the fittest. You can't just play a 7 and play them out throughout because you'd just be too tired. So it's like all of the recovery around that, all the nutrition. Are they sleeping? Can you actually play your squad of 12? So when it comes to the final match, you've got a team of players that are still prepped and ready to go.
With the quality of netball that's being played now at senior level, England being the Commonwealth champions, the Vitality Netball Super League having people come from all around the world to want to play in it. This is the future. It's bright enough, isn't it?
It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good.
Thank you very much for joining us here at the School Games 2018. Netball made a bow, the crowd made a noise, the players hopefully have made a name for themselves. From myself, Alan March, thank you very much to Danny Titmus for joining me here in the final. Gold, silver and bronze have been won. I think netball overall was the winner. Swimming's easy to do in legs. Downstairs all have radio. So this year's bronze medal winners, Surrey School, led by Captain Lauren Welsh. Congratulations to Surrey. Yes, I really going to think to do. I see my kids and my family a lot less than I think they should. In a way, I look at it, I'm young, I'm still got some energy-ish. I've still got my hair on my physique. That's going you know, we're trying. We're 8 years old. No, again, that's something we do. Martin, I know. He's literally started this with another company. All of his music stuff is sport presentation. He's been good, yeah. But he's done enough events for them. So if you came here for a night, we bring in a big screen, we make all the videos with big screens. Some of the players come out, we have all the lights there, all out as well. We have a guy that does all the lights as well. Here, the riders are in this. So the host will be mine, and the guys will be behind the scene doing the entrance and the videos. And again, music choices, they would have organised. We've set playlists for different things. We did sirens almost every game as well up in Scotland. They took us to the the one I always remember is the longest one, which is the Faces of the Garden, the Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Sports Club. And that one never leaves you. Not in Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Sports Club. Good. I mean, obviously, we school games. Yeah, that's 6. I missed 2 in the middle. I think it's a hell of a thing to give kids an opportunity to play for what's up. You've done the biggest thing ever. You can't say that. and I even as a huge level footballer, I saw yesterday, which I know what happened. Football is the hardest one for us to work to get very